time of birth, I knew something was wrong with my son, Bradley. He didn't cry. He didn't respond to stimulation. After a year of tests, blood work, biopsies, frustration, and tears, I heard the words a parent never wants to hear. My child is being diagnosed with Kabuki syndrome. My fears had finally been confirmed that there was something wrong with Bradley. There was relief for finally having a diagnosis, but the fear was there of the unknown. Dr. Wilden, my son's geneticist, informed me I had won the lottery. Today, I would like to share with you what Kabuki syndrome is. I hope we will be able to learn what the diagnosis means to Kabuki kids. Some of you may have never heard of this genetic disorder, and I hope I can shed some light. Others of us may have heard a little of Kabuki syndrome, and my hope is we can delve a little deeper into this subject and learn a little more about Bradley and this disorder. Bradley was born with this rare genetic disorder. He was diagnosed at the age of 1.5 years. I have talked to geneticists, specialists, pediatricians, and just about anybody who will listen to my questions. Let me tell you, a determined mom can move mountains. I have looked up websites, read almost every pamphlet, article there is out there. I am also a member of the Family Kabuki Network. We will look at what Kabuki syndrome is. What are some of the symptoms that affect Bradley and other kids diagnosed with this disorder? We will also look at therapies that may help children live through this. First, we will look at what Kabuki syndrome is. Kabuki syndrome was first diagnosed in 1981 by 2 Japanese doctors, Dr. Niyakawa and Dr. Kuroki. At first, it was called Kabuki makeup because of the similarities of traditional Japanese theater makeup. The white face, arched eyebrows, thick lashes, and all contribute to the similarity. Kabuki syndrome is a rare multi-system disorder, meaning it affects many different symptoms in a body. It is characterized by distinctive facial features, growth delays, varying degrees of intellectual disabilities, and being short in stature. Specific symptoms and characterizations may vary from child to child. Kabuki syndrome is rare. Current statistics from the United States National Library of Medicine put the current diagnosis at 1 in 32,000 children. However, it is greatly underdiagnosed since the medical profession who are familiar with this syndrome is still growing. As more and more geneticists become aware of Kabuki, it is more likely that children will be diagnosed with this. They believe that it will eventually be 1 in 10,000 children will have Kabuki syndrome. We have now touched on what Kabuki syndrome is. We will now discuss some of the symptoms. Some of the physical characteristics are Kabuki kids that have distinct facial and physical characteristics. They have long palpebral fissures, meaning the separation between the upper and lower eyelids. They have arched eyebrows with prominent eyelashes. They have misshapen ears. A depressed nasal tip, meaning a flat nose. They can have a webbing of fingers, or as we call it in our house, starfish fingers. Mentally, Kabuki kids have a range from mild to moderate intellectual disability. Bradley is on the moderate side. Most children require extra help within the school system. The degree of learning disability varies considerably, and a few individuals have almost age-appropriate general intelligence. Most who have learning difficulties, such as struggling with fine motor and speech, have an amazing memory. Emotionally, Kabuki kids are some of the most loving children you will ever meet. When Bradley was little, I couldn't wait till he would put his arms around me and tell me he loved me. My wishes were granted at the age of 2 by this little man who tells me every day how much he loves me. Bradley and other Kabuki kids have a desire to be touched and show the love that they have. Bradley will walk up to people and give them a hug. He needs to be touched to feel secure. He has recently found the power of kisses. Not everyone is so keen on this. We have learned what Kabuki syndrome is and what some of the symptoms are. And next we will look at how to manage Kabuki syndrome. Some of the therapies Bradley and Kabuki kids use are physical therapy to help with strengthening muscles, developmental therapy to help with learning how to do everyday things that most of us take for granted. Speech therapy. Bradley did not start talking until he was almost 2. Speech therapy is key in almost every kabuki kid. Sensory integration. Bradley has a constant need for oral stimulation or chewing on non-food items. He has abnormal reactions toward various sensation and stimuli, panic-like reactions to certain noises, and aversions to textures. He also refuses to eat anything the color yellow. Surgery-wise, each kabuki kid is different. We have had 3 eyes and ear surgeries. Some kids with kabuki syndrome are born with heart, liver, and major organ function problems that are dealt with by pediatric surgeons. Some of these doctors are ENT, ophthalmologist, neurologist, endocrinologist, cardiologist, and many more. Kabuki kids have a revolving door with these doctors. We have looked at what kabuki syndrome is, what some of the symptoms are, and have discussed ways and help to manage the disorder. Hopefully, we will look at this disorder with open eyes and open arms. Sitting in Dr. Wilden's office, he told me I had won the lottery. Bradley was my 1 in 32,000 ticket. As I cried in fear of the unknown and my gratitude for finally having had a diagnosis, I know how truly blessed I was at winning the lottery with my little man. Kabuki kids have a faith, dare to dream, courage to adapt, and a wisdom to rejoice.